This is a collaborative team training by Team 2 based on the work of Dufour, Learning by Doing. There are 5 phases in the professional learning community's continuum. The pre-initiating stage is for a school that has not yet begun to address this principle or practice of a PLC. In the initiation stage, the school has made an effort to address this principle or practice, but the effort has not yet begun to impact a critical mass of staff members. When reaching the implementation stage, a critical mass of staff members is participating in implementing the principle or practice, but many approach this task with a sense of compliance rather than commitment. There is some uncertainty regarding what needs to be done and why it should be done. In the developing stage, structures are being altered to support the changes and resources are being devoted to moving them forward. Members are becoming more receptive to the principle, practice, or process because they have experienced some of its benefits. The focus has shifted from why are we doing this to how can we do this more effectively. And finally, in the sustaining stage, the principle or practice is deeply embedded in the culture of the school. It is a driving force in the daily work of staff. It is deeply internalized, and staff would resist attempts to abandon the principle or practice. We studied several teams across the district to determine their place on the PLC continuum. The following presentation is an analysis of our collective findings. Building consensus and responding to conflict.
Okay, well, before we get started, you should know that there are 5 different styles of conflict. My Shaolin temper style defeats your monkey style.
Can we go? I have a lot of work to do.
No, this is important. Okay, the first style is lose-lose.
What's the next one?
Just hold on, please. Okay, if we do lose-lose, neither of you gets what you want. Do you understand? You would both lose. Now I need to ask you, do you want to pursue a lose-lose negotiation?
Can we just skip to whatever number 5 is, win-win or whatever?
Win-win is number 4, and number 5 is win-win-win. The important difference here is with win-win-win, we all win. Me too. I win for having successfully mediated a conflict at work. Okay, so
Team A is somewhere between the initiating and implementing stage of building consensus and responding to conflict. Evidence of this is that they used a developing team norms activity to establish the group norms and create a collective commitment to minimize conflict. They have also developed a plan to build consensus. After 1 week of discussion, a decision will be made the following week. An administrative member of the team is present to resolve any conflict that may arise, and the team relies on administration to resolve the conflict as quickly as possible. Team A operates with the assumption that each member of the team has good intentions. However, they are so quick to restore the peace that dissonance is not created. The next step for this team will be to implement the agreed-upon conflict resolution process at all future meetings. In the past, this group has had difficulty challenging each other in an effort to avoid conflict. Because of this, they will be visiting some online and in-district resources to examine what other teams are doing in an effort to address conflict productively, and use those ideas as they move toward testing the boundaries of their comfort zones and creating opportunities for growth.
Team F, a site leadership team, is in the implementing stage of building consensus and responding to conflict. Team F has developed norms, set SMART goals, organized PDSA cycles, and reviewed data on a regular basis. Team members use a shared system for setting agendas and collecting team minutes. Team members meet to support the efforts outlined in the SIP by making decisions that involve moving staff forward and meeting agreed upon goals and action steps. Decisions are made through team conversation and feedback from the individual CTs. Conflict resolution is coordinated by the administration and supported by leaders within the team through conversation and problem solving. This team has implemented instructional rounds several times in the year as a way to collect feedback and information about instructional practices. Next steps include creating a defined system for consensus on decision making that would benefit the team and other staff members in better understanding how and why certain decisions are being made. This team will strengthen trust and communication between the team and other staff members who are not serving on the team. Increasing professional development in the following areas will support the goals for establishing collaboration and building capacity. These are working in CTs to resolve conflict and the data inquiry process.
Team C is in the developing stage of building consensus and responding to conflict. An action item for the team goal was to clarify with all staff, district-wide, the purpose of cognitive coaching as the focus of the pre- and post-observation meetings with them. The team determined to use the language of the golden circle, which is why, what, and how. While working on the task, it was important that the team rely on the norms they established for trust. The group shared ideas and suggestions for what each area of the circle might mean for the teachers they are coaching. While working on the task, the team members viewed the opportunity as a way to build shared knowledge. They were able to explore competing assumptions based on staff interactions. All group members believe that they are united by the common purpose. Moving forward, it is important that team members monitor one another to ensure that everyone has an opportunity to have their voice heard. When selecting the ideas that are becoming part of a final product, it is important that the group members assume positive intentions of one another. By having a common purpose, the team is able to move forward in completing tasks and acknowledging the collective commitment of all team members. The following table contains actual examples of work being done across the district in the area of building consensus and responding to conflict. To access the artifacts referred to here, open the live presentation provided and click on the links in the table. Clarifying a focused and shared vision for success.
Narito na. Wimpo! Okay, Divotara. Pomelo?
Team A is in the initiating phase of clarifying a focused and shared vision for success. It is difficult to precisely place the team using the indicators referenced in the rubric because the gifted and talented teachers in the district are providing services for students in a pull-out model. This means that the curriculum guides created by the district and provided to classroom teachers do not apply to most of the work done in the GT classroom. The teachers in this group have created SMART goals that align with each school's continuous improvement plan. but the state standards are not sufficient. Instead, Team A has decided to start using the NAGC, National Association for Gifted Children, pre-K to grade 12 gifted programming standards, and have worked with a district-wide GT evaluation team to determine the 10 power standards that will most impact student learning. The next steps for the team will be to sequence the 10 power standards and testing them to see if they pass the 3-part test of endurance, leverage, and readiness. Once the sequence is determined, they will be unwrapping the power standards to create achievement targets that can be agreed upon by all. Team A may work with other members of the district-wide evaluation team to ensure that all voices are heard, because the achievement targets will be used by all district GT teachers and will be accessible to each identified gifted and talented student.
Using the DeForest rubric, clarifying a shared vision for success, Team F is mostly between the implementing and developing stages. The team consists of grade level representatives, administration, district curriculum department, and specialists working together collaboratively to develop a process to prioritize standards that are assessed on MCA 3s in both reading and math. Some of the team members are working district-wide with the support of the curriculum department and other sites' grade level teams to vertically align standards. CTs at the site are working on developing horizontal alignment in regards to learning targets and instructional practices for both reading and math. During the 2012-13 school year, the team worked collaboratively with the district elementary literacy coordinator to unpack the reading anchor standards and clearly identify grade level benchmarks, writing student-friendly learning targets.
The combination of collaborative teams being implemented district-wide and new building leadership has helped guide the kindergarten team to a new level in regards to clarifying a focused and shared vision for success. The team made the decision to jump headfirst into knowing and understanding the priority standards for their grade level. To do this, the team met with the district curriculum and assessment coordinator to go through the process of determining priority standards using an identifying priority standards form. By going through the process of identifying priority standards, the teachers on this team are able to focus on student success in the most crucial skills. The team has also unwrapped the standards and created I can statements in student-friendly language. The learning targets are posted in each kindergarten classroom and are consistent regardless of which teacher's classroom you enter. A great opportunity for growth is the development of rubrics as well as the creation of anchor papers to use when analyzing student work samples. The team currently has a representative that is working with the district ELA committee to vertically align the curriculum as well as align the priority standards to the current ELA curriculum to determine any gaps or omissions. While the curriculum provides more than this team could ever teach in a school year, it is important to remember that less is more. Continuing this work and sharing the resulting documents will be vital for the continued growth of this team and their shared vision for success. Acting purposefully while collecting data.
In regard to acting purposefully while collecting data, as described in Learning by Doing, Team A has not yet created the common formative assessments that are necessary to develop assessment maps and inform student progress. They are currently in the initiating stage of development based on progress indicators. The next steps for the team after identifying the achievement targets will be using multiple data sources to determine success. The multiple data sources will include the common formative and summative assessments created by the team to monitor the progress made on GT Power standards.
Team F is in the implementing stage for acting purposefully while collecting data. The team utilizes a district-wide assessment schedule outlining the assessments and days, times in which the assessments are to be administered. Early literacy assessments are administered to all K-2 students in the fall. A diagnostic reading assessment in grades 3 and 4 is given to students below grade level proficiency based on previous spring scores in NWA and/or MCA3s. Specific criteria is used in determining which students are to receive the diagnostic reading assessment, which is known as the benchmark assessment system. Teachers at this site use ongoing literacy data collected by classroom teachers and reading intervention teachers to track growth on benchmark assessments and progress monitoring data and report it in a school-wide literacy doc. Teachers create learning targets for the purpose of clearly defining student goals. Teachers post the learning targets and use them in planning for their instruction. Currently, Team F is working with site individual grade level CTs in developing common formative assessments around key ideas and details for the purpose of vertical alignment. Staff members at the site organize academic celebrations throughout the year to showcase student achievement. Next steps for this team would be to include students more in the self-assessing progress portion of collecting data by utilizing learning targets and expanding the creation of CFAs by classroom teachers.
The kindergarten team knows and understands the extreme value in collecting student data to determine next steps in instruction and to ensure the success of each and every student. This team has created weekly formative assessments to assess the key learning targets for the week. The assessments are short and address only the priority standards in which students must be proficient. This team has also implemented student data notebooks for the first time this year. While the process in which these data notebooks are used may need adjusting, the data notebooks have given students pride and ownership in their learning. Next steps for this team would be to score and return the weekly common assessments so that students can see which learning targets they have missed and take ownership in their own learning. The team should also discuss how to use the student data notebooks to develop a culture of learning within the kindergarten classrooms. The data collected in these notebooks should be celebrated and posted so students can take more pride in their learning and increase their motivation.
In Learning by Doing, the authors describe the next phase of development as analyzing data collaboratively. Team A would again fit into the initiating stage based on indicators discussed in this phase. The next steps for this team will be to create the common assessments that can be used in determining progress as part of a continuous improvement process that will help our program improve and help our team get better results more consistently.
Team B is in the implementing stage of analyzing data collaboratively. The collaborative team reviews common assessments during their weekly meetings as they have been directed by their administration to create and analyze a minimum of one per quarter. In doing this, they are either previewing the upcoming unit assessment to ensure that questions are appropriate to the learner and content, or reviewing the last unit assessment for student performance. All team members, content teachers, ESL teacher, and special education teacher, read through the assessment to determine if the questions are appropriate for learners. The questions on the common assessment are related to the established learning targets. Questions are similar to those on the MCA science and math assessments. Next steps for this team include utilizing their common formative assessments, daily quizzes, for more than students checking in on their learning, but also for the teachers to monitor and adjust their lessons. By having the conversations focus on the formative assessments rather than only the summative unit assessments, teachers will be more apt to share and develop effective instructional strategies. This will also have the conversation be ongoing throughout the unit rather than weeks following the unit when all assessment results have been collected. Team E is very focused on the success of each and every kindergarten student, regardless of which teacher they have been assigned. The kindergarten team has started to use Google Drive as a place to house their collective data. The team realized that they needed a structured protocol for data discussions. They have now begun to use a step-by-step process when analyzing and discussing data. This protocol has resulted in deeper conversations that identify strengths and weaknesses in individual teaching and ways to improve the delivery and pacing of curriculum. To show growth, this team must continue to ingrain the analyzing data process into the culture of the team. They must also focus on having data conversations in a timely fashion. This will require team members to gather and chart their data prior to meeting as a collaborative team. Without all of the data present, true data conversations cannot take place.
Oh, I like that one. That's a good one.
It works on many levels, sir.
You guys are a bunch of suckers.
That too, sir.
Absolutely. Hey, stations. Stage one, go. Oh, no. What have I done? Come on, take the bait.
What happened?
What's going on?
Look at the poor little
Is
guy.
it dead?
Stage two, go, go, go.
I will give him the kiss of life.
Oh, Rico. Rico. Reverse. Yes. Music.
Stop! 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 Come back! Oh.
What is all this rock and roll racket?
Is she dead?
No.
Oi! You hoodlums!
Good heavens! Are you...
Using informed team action planning. Team B is in the initiating stage of using informed team action planning. The collaborative team has established a SMART goal. The team created an action plan regarding the instruction that will take place and how student performance will be reviewed over time, in this case at the end of each unit. The focus of conversation at team meetings is about the questions and student performance, not strategies for teachers. Support for students is either through special education or English as a second language service. Moving forward, it is important that the administration continue to support staff in having the courageous conversations of what can be done for student success for all levels of learning. The staff is participating in continued professional development sessions to increase student learning through the process of reviewing standards, identifying learning targets, creating common formative assessments, summative assessments, and analyzing the results. Team E has made SMART goals for the past several years. These SMART goals have helped focus the team's conversations on student achievement instead of using collaborative time to plan field trips and order copies. Team E faces adversity when it comes to implement interventions for both students that need extra support and those ready for enrichment. The team uses a teacher-created program called Take My Teacher Home to provide at-home support for the 6 lowest students per classroom. The program includes 15 weeks of interactive lessons for students to complete at home. Students are moved in and out of the program as needed and as materials allow. There is also a Teachers Helping Teachers group that teachers can access to get ideas about interventions and supports for students within the classroom. Additional intervention opportunities are limited to volunteers for kindergarten students. The volunteers tend to be hit or miss as to the effect they have on student achievement. A huge step towards growth in the area of interventions would be a change in the building schedule. Plans are underway, and a new building schedule that includes an intervention block for each grade level will be unveiled this spring.
Team D is comprised of multiple CTs within the same program. These CTs would fit in the developing phase according to the related rubric. The CTs at the elementary level provide remedial services in reading, and at the secondary level, they provide math intervention courses. The ADSYS program fits into the district RTI model. Students are identified for this program using criteria related to standardized testing, and SMART goals are designed to increase proficiency and decrease referrals to special education. Several structural changes, such as modifications in the daily schedule, have been made to support this system of interventions. Members of both math and reading teams monitor student progress and help identify students in need of moving flexibly throughout the groups according to the progress benchmarks and exit criteria. District program coordinators support the CT teams by collecting data and providing quarterly and mid-year summary reports. A district-wide leadership team meets quarterly to evaluate program effectiveness, survey stakeholders, and update the school board regarding progress made. The next steps for the ADSYS teams will be working toward making the system more fluid so students can move easily into intervention programs and remain only as long as they benefit from it. Communicating in collaboration with classroom teachers will also be an important step in an effort to move from developing to sustaining. ADSYS collaborative teams will start meeting with grade level ZTs once a month to share data and determine action steps for maintaining a high level of progress and student growth.